Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Once upon a time, nestled at the edge of the dry hills, there was a small, dusty village. In that village lived a poor woodcutter named Ali Baba. He was a kind-hearted man, worn down by years of hard labor. Every morning, he would lead his old, weary donkey into the forest to gather firewood, which he sold in the nearby town, just to feed his family. His wife, a gentle and humble woman, waited for him at home. They didn't have much, but they lived with dignity and love. One day, while Ali Baba was cutting wood deep in the forest, he suddenly heard the thunder of approaching hooves. Fearing danger, he quickly hid his donkey behind the bushes and climbed up a tall tree. From his perch, he watched as 40 riders arrived on horseback, each dressed like desert warriors. They stopped near a giant rock. The leader of the group stepped forward and shouted, "Open sesame!" To Ali Baba's amazement, the giant rock slid open, revealing the entrance to a secret cave. The thieves entered, carrying heavy sacks, no doubt filled with stolen treasures. Moments later they came back out, and the leader called again, "Close sesame!" The rock sealed shut, and the 40 men rode away, leaving nothing but silence behind. Once the coast was clear, Ali Baba climbed down, heart pounding. He walked to the rock and whispered, "Open sesame." And just like magic, the cave opened for him too. Inside, he found a hidden world of riches, gold coins, sparkling jewels, silver ornaments piled high in every corner. But Ali Baba wasn't greedy. He filled a few bags, just enough to support his family, and left. Back home, he shared everything with his wife. She was amazed but wise, and said, "We must keep this a secret, not a word to anyone, especially your brother Qasim." But secrets don't stay buried for long. Qasim, a wealthy man with a greedy heart, grew suspicious. He forced the truth out of Ali Baba and demanded to be taken to the treasure. Soon enough, Qasim stood before the great rock himself. He shouted, "Open sesame," and stepped into the cave. Greed overwhelmed him. He grabbed what he could, stuffing jewels into sacks. But when it was time to leave, he forgot the magic words. He tried everything. Open barley, open wheat, open mustard. Nothing worked. And then the thieves returned. They found him trapped inside. There would be no mercy. Later that night, Qasim's wife came to Ali Baba in tears. "My husband went to the forest and never returned." Ali Baba understood what had happened. He quietly brought back Qasim's body and gave him a proper burial, keeping the dark truth to himself. But the thieves began to notice that their treasure was still being stolen. Their leader sent one of his men to the village to investigate. That thief followed Ali Baba and marked his door with a secret sign. But Ali Baba's clever wife noticed it. She painted the exact same sign on every house in the village, confusing the thieves. When they returned that night, nothing made sense. They were lost and left empty-handed. But their leader wouldn't give up. Disguised as an oil merchant, he came to Ali Baba's house with 40 large jars, one filled with oil, the others hiding his men. Ali Baba welcomed the guest. But that night, his wife heard whispering from the jars. She realized the danger and with extraordinary courage heated oil and poured it into every jar. One by one, the hidden thieves perished. Only the leader survived. But when he discovered his army destroyed, he fled into the darkness, never to return again. Ali Baba and his family were finally safe. They used the treasure wisely, never with greed, always with gratitude. And from that day on, they lived in peace, surrounded by the love of their neighbors and the lessons they had learned. Because this story isn't just about gold or secrets hidden in caves, it's a story about what happens when greed blinds a man and what can be achieved with honesty, wisdom, and courage.